Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today we're going to be taking a look in my third and final video on my second ever build to sell real estate venture, house number 2. Normally we bring these videos to you when the house is completely finished, but I want to show you a little different aspect of this one. This house is one of the only ones I still have that is not sold yet. Most of the houses that we have built have been under contract, or after we started building them, they became under contract. For some reason, this one hasn't had that happen yet. So I'm going to show you the punch list, if you will, of what things need to be done for this house to become a ready to sell home. So come with me. So if you've been watching my videos for any amount of time, you realize that I'm a big believer in the little things. Don't mean a lot, they mean everything. So for instance, the last 2 times I've been here, I've brought up this paper. All it takes is a razor blade and shave this down and get this number 819 looking great for our next consumer to come here and look at this and say, I would love to have a pizza delivered here. I would love to raise my family here. I would love to check out this entire beautiful floor plan and vision myself as the homeowner. So things like that really matter. Now, another thing, it always does come down to numbers. I am not a bottom line person, but I also can't give away the entire profit on this house, because if I have to price reduce and do a little too much, you know what happens? I lose money. And if you lose money enough, the jobs just aren't worth it. So you want to always try to make sure you do the absolute best bang for the buck. So what you're going to notice is right here, we haven't been able to landscape. So we don't landscape, and that's not included in any of our actual bids. So by not landscaping, it saved us about $5,000, because just the shrubs, it might not be a ton, but you would shrub this, shrub that side, build out beds, and then all this side will cost a lot of money. So being this one hasn't sold yet, there is the thought process, do we landscape or not? It's something that's on the books, but we got to figure it out, and we got to make sure we still maximize our profits, even if we have to give a little bit away to move it that much faster. And this house isn't even complete yet, so I start freaking out about things not working out well before actually to that point. So when this house is finished, I'm sure it'll sell that day. We've got a couple parties ready to go. It's gonna be a really cool time. So let me show you a few other things besides the house tour of what we just have to get done before it actually works out. So for instance, right here, and the door's not painted the color it's gonna stay, and also the trim. So these things are still very small things that, yes, I know it's just touch-up paint, but we've been building this house now for over a year. It is time for this one to get done. The frustration level on house 2 for me that you'll see in other videos is about right here. And I'm also on house 5, 6, and 7. And we've sold every other house besides those new 3 and this one right here. Those are getting built right behind you. You're gonna hear me still fussing about house 2 when those have been blacked in and bricked up and ready to go. So I don't understand, I really don't, why it's not done yet, but this video is about the frustration you might feel in real estate, because it's not always rainbows and butterflies. I like to show you the frustrations and the losses and then the wins, so that way you have the full picture when you invest your money. So let's go inside and do a little house tour, but before we do, let me show you the process up to this point. Let's talk about why time is of the essence and why you get to be a little frustrated when a job starts taking a little too much of that beautiful word, the thing we don't get any more of, time. So the main issue here is this house has been virtually complete, which means the draws have ended. We have pulled everything besides the last 5%, because the last 5% is after touch-ups, after everything else. Then the contractor gets paid his full amount. But for the most part, 95% of this house draw has been pulled, which means we're paying interest every single month, every single day that this house sits here and is unsold. Let me give you an example of why this truly matters. Normally, I pay $3,500 to $4,500 depending on the size of the house for a 5 to 8 month construction, okay? That means that this house every single month is pulling full pull, which is bad. This house right here, where we've got the slab going, we've got the framing going, we've got the roof on, the plumbing and electrical all going in, and the AC, that house has probably pulled $110,000 worth of expense. Where this one, we've pulled almost $300,000 in expense. Not to mention, we're still paying interest on the land. We're still paying interest on this, on that, on this. So keep in mind, the longer that this project sits, the more interest we're gonna pay. Me and my banker figured out how much we're gonna pay on this house in interest if it sells in the next 3 months. This house is gonna cost me about $7,000 in interest because now it's pulling interest every single month on nearly $300,000 versus by the time the house is done, it's sold, contracts are done, and then you only pay interest on about $4,500. So this house is eating up $3,000 to $5,000 worth of profit depending on how long it takes to sell, which causes me more frustration. This right here might look like a fun little detail. It might look like we actually meant to put this here. This here is for whenever a major mistake happens, you have to get creative. So this nice, beautiful band in the driveway was because we had to rip out the portion of the driveway to rerun the electrical. Somebody put the electrical in the wrong way, which we no longer use that electrician, but the kicker is we couldn't get power to the house. Part of the reason why we were delayed. So after fixing this, the house has power, everything's good to go. The floor finally came in, and now we're waiting on the painter to come touch it up. And, you know, with a good amount of fussing from me, I think we're gonna get it done that much faster. All these small, but still major, meaningful mess ups really do matter, but on the overall, this is one of my favorite houses we've done yet. Me and Brett and Kayla and everyone else that's ever been involved, Tanner, all 100% agree. This house is a rock star. Someone's gonna absolutely love to actually own it and call it their home. This front of this house came out absolutely amazing. These beams are absolutely super cool. I'm super pumped about all of it, but these little things absolutely drive me nuts. My next one I'm gonna show you is the fact that this and this are different colors. My contractor says he's gonna get it fixed, but why do we have to fix it when you could just do that little extra bit of thinking to make sure it's done right the first time? If you spend most of your time spinning your wheels trying to fix things that should have been done right the first time, you will never, ever be successful. And I'm sorry that's harsh. I'm sorry that I'm telling him things like this on the phone every single day, but he will either learn or we will no longer be able to continue this relationship.
Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama said it's my fault. It's my fault. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
So here we are in this absolutely beautiful house. I hope it's not too much of an echo, but the ceilings are mega tall. The floor plan is wide open. And truth be told, like I said, it's my favorite one yet, and it's not even 100% complete. So this house might look like everything's together. This house might look like we're just about ready to list it, which is something I've been wanting to do for months now, paying interest for months now, just to recap some of the stressful things that's been going on. But for instance, right over here, we have the top crown molding, and there's this putty, and it looks terrible. And it's just something that I don't understand why that's the case. We still have the painting of the back of the side of the door. We still have the little things missing right here on the actual door itself. Right here, we have all the what's called quarter round, that last little touch that they put back. We haven't gotten that painted yet. I don't know if the painter's too busy painting the Sistine Chapel, but he needs to get his butt over here because it's time to get my Sistine Chapel sold. That's got a nice crease down the center of it on the baseboard. There's just so many little things that are driving me insane. And now let's go to the kitchen to talk about some of the bigger ones. So here we are in the kitchen, which I think came out amazing. I love the color scheme of the house, the soft grays, the beautiful darker gray wood with the different darker gray, just accents to it. I love the countertops. beautiful tiger eye, and I don't even like tiger eye anymore, but the way this came out is absolutely beautiful. Wait till you see the master bathroom. Wait till you see the rest of the house. We don't miss on any single aspect. But once again, we are at a year of construction, and the house is still not complete. For one, these beautiful, beautiful bar lights do not come on yet. These bar lights above the island that are supposed to be the focal point of the actual house don't work. I flipped every switch. Unless I'm doing it wrong, I'm a little frustrated. We even went to the breaker box. Nothing still tripped. My contractor says he'll let me know. That drives me insane. Also, this beautiful, we thought we were gonna have a vent hood, but now we don't. There's a hole in the ceiling. How many times has the sheetrocker been here? How many times has the contractor been here to see that hole? I see it. I know I gotta get some other stuff done. I'm gonna get it fixed because the frustration of me as the bank, the frustration of me as the person funding the project is getting to be here because every month I spend a little bit more money on interest. Every month I get a little bit more frustrated, and I'm planning on building 18 houses. I really do hope that he gets it together because I'd like it to be with him. Also, there's a spot on the ceiling that I have absolutely no idea how it got there. It's the paint color of the walls. Things like this, those little things, folks, when you're building these projects, if you leave that, maybe you get away with the top crown molding, maybe. But if you can't get this house right where somebody walks in and says, my couch is gonna go there, my TV is gonna go here, my kids are gonna eat here, and I am envisioning myself living in your home, that's when they're gonna pay. But if you leave these small details, if you still have cabinet drawers, the drawers are different colors. He says that they're primed and not painted. But my question is, what happened to that drawer for it to not get painted when the rest of them got painted? Anytime you do that, there's a chance that the shade could be just ever so off. There's a chance that you could mess things up. Why not get it right the first time? Why not have somebody come here to supervise the job on every aspect? I'm here about 19 times a build. I could be here 40 times a build, and I've got so much more going on. You need to inspect what you expect, or you will be fixing things for months and months and months and chasing your tail. And every month you chase your tail, that profit margin goes down and down and down. So normally we do the patios last, but I want to go ahead and show it to you right now since we're still in this beautiful grand living room, kitchen, and dining area. So let's go check it out. And if you're wondering what happened to my hand, I was lifting some weights, hurt myself. So, if you feel bad for me, power the like button because I'd appreciate it. It might make my wrist feel better. I'd appreciate that. So as you can see, this property sits on a beautiful half acre. This house is 2,203 square feet, and we're gonna be selling it for $372,000 to a very lucky homeowner. That's about $169 a foot sitting on half an acre with what I like to call, and I kind of coined the phrase, custom spec home. So here we are on the patio where, it's not the biggest patio I've done yet, but you still have room where you can put a nice cool cooking area over here, put some chairs, look at your beautiful backyard, and you've got a very, very nice view of, there's a pond on this side, you've got a beautiful pond across the way, and that white picket fence isn't too bad to look at, aside from the highway driving right by. So let's get into the actual numbers of this house. And I know during this process, I said I didn't really feel comfortable sharing how much I'll be making. So I'm giving you just rough ranges of what I possibly can make. Before we do this though, let me explain. On house 3 that you haven't seen yet, I only made $4,000. So you're gonna see that whole beautiful process. That house came out absolutely amazing, but you'll hear some mistakes in that video series where I overbuilt the garage. I overbuilt the patio because I was trying to give too much to the consumer. And guess what? I didn't charge them enough for their extras, and it bit me right in the profits. So here we are now where hopefully this house is done to where everything's good, all the bills are checked in, we've made sure that it was perfectly balanced from that beautiful kitchen, that beautiful foyer, that patio, all the things that have come together. And guess what? This house should make somewhere around $30,000 to $40,000. If it goes under, it could make as less as $22,000 if it sits for some time. So the longer it sits, the more price reducing we do, the more interest that occurs, that profit drops drastically and more drastic every single month. So the number one rule here is I'm learning before I start fully developing subdivisions, and I want to make sure I know the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that way I can make the best decision for my money to show you how to better spend yours. So now let's get into the numbers of this house. This house sits on half a beautiful acre. You have a pond off to this side. You've got a beautiful giant yard in the back. The house is 2,203 square feet, which is a plenty big enough home. We're selling it for $169 a foot, which is just over $372,000. So if you're curious about the sulfur market, that's about the top of the line when you come into what I like to call a custom spec home. This house was spared no expense when it comes to the finer cabinetry, when it comes to the nicer countertops, the beautiful light fixtures. We made sure that it's competitive to even one of the nicer homes in a higher price point. So if you're looking for a custom spec, you're somebody local, or you're looking to move, link in the description below for my YouTube email. We promise you we'll get you a nice tour of this home. So this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. This home has very spacious bedrooms. As you can see, this room is very, very large. It's got beautiful natural light. So now we are in the bathroom area where it has his and her sinks, beautiful faucets, nice light fixtures, and then that little booger that I just don't understand why it's still there. Frustration levels rising. And look, I'm pretty good. The 8-month mark, the 9-month mark, the 10-month mark, but after 11th and 12th, you get it, right? So, but I really do think this bathroom came out very nice. It's bright, it's white, it's got a hint of gray, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Keep in mind, if you ever want to build homes, I promise you I am learning with you. These videos, the first time I've ever done this is right here. If I can figure out a way to make money, I'm going to absolutely share it with you. I really hope that you find these videos educational, and please remember, I 100% believe in you. I know you can do anything you set your mind to, like build a subdivision and, try and figure it out as you go, and never let anyone tell you any differently. I hope you have a fantastic afternoon, and I will see you in the next house on the next one.